This is the sneakiest financial trap out there, and most people don't even know that they are in it. Turns out I wasn't bad with money. I just had some seriously sneaky habits that were draining my wallet without me even realizing it. And today we are talking about the 5 habits that keep people financially stuck. These are subtle, everyday habits that millions of people have, and they are costing you way more than you think. And the science says that the reason for this, our brains are wired for the social comparison. So your daily coffee habit is literally $500,000 decision. Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered where all your money went? Like, you're working hard, you're making decent money, but somehow you are still living paycheck to paycheck. I have been in your shoes, so I know. And I used to think that I was just bad with money. Turns out I wasn't bad with money. I just had some seriously sneaky habits that were draining my wallet without me even realizing it. And today we are talking about the 5 habits that keep people financially stuck. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like don't buy a Lamborghini you can't afford. These are subtle, everyday habits that millions of people have, and they are costing you way more than you think. So let's dive right in. Alright, so first up, lifestyle creep. This is the sneakiest financial trap out there, and most people don't even know that they are in it. Here's how it works generally. You get a raise. Let's say you go from making $50,000 to $60,000 a year. That's an extra $10,000. You should be saving more, right? But instead, you upgrade your apartment, you start eating out more, you subscribe to 3, 4 more streaming services, you buy nicer clothes because you deserve it, and suddenly that extra $10,000 evaporates. Now let's talk the science behind it. There's a psychological phenomena called the hedonic treadmill. So basically, humans adapt to improvements in their life really quickly than we need more to feel the same level of happiness. You get the nicer apartment, you're happy for a month, and then it becomes your new normal and you want something even nicer. But here's we don't talk about the problems, we solve them too. So let me share the fix. When you get a raise, immediately increase your contribution or your savings by at least 50% of the raise. So let's say if you got a $500 a month raise, automatically transfer $250 to the savings before you even see it, and let yourself enjoy the other 250, but protect the half of every raise. Think of it like this. If you're climbing a ladder and every time you go up a step, you add more weight to your backpack, you're not actually getting higher, you are just working harder to stay in the same place. Next up, procrastinating on investing and saving. Here's what I hear all the time, like, I will start investing when I make more money. I will open that TFSA next year. I will worry about retirement when I'm 40, 45. And look, I get it. Saving $100 a month doesn't feel like it's going to make you rich. But here's where the math gets absolutely wild. Let me show you 2 scenarios. Person A starts investing $200 a month at the age of 25. He does it for 10 years and then stops completely at 35. He totally invests $24,000. On the other hand, person B waits until age 35 to start. Then he also invests $200 a month until he's 65. So in those years, in 30 years, he invests $72,000. Now, assuming 7% average annual return, here's what happens. Person A will end up with $338,000, whereas person B will have $244,000 at the age of 65. Whereas person A invested 3 times less money but ended up with more. Do you know why? It's time. Those first 10 years had 40 years to grow, and money makes money, and then that money makes you more money. So that was the problem. What's the fix or what's the solution? So Start with literally any amount, $25 a month, $50 a month, I don't care. Even if it is $10. The habit is more important than the amount when you're just starting out, right? Or you can use the pay yourself first method as well. Set up some automatic transfers the day after your payday or the same day. If the money never hits your checking account, you won't even miss it, right? You can use apps like Wealthsimple, Questrade, or even your bank's auto invest options. Makes it stupid simple, and you can literally set it up in like 10-15 minutes and never ever think about it again. Always remember, the best time to start investing was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. Now, habit number 3, spending money to impress people you don't even like. Social media has absolutely turbocharged this problem. You scroll through Instagram and you see your friend on a beach in Bali, another friend just bought a new car, someone's showing off their designer bag, and suddenly your perfectly fine life feels inadequate. So, what do? You book a trip you can't afford, you finance a car to look successful, you buy stuff to keep up. And the science says that the reason for this, our brains are wired for the social comparison. It's evolutionary. Back in the day, knowing where you stood in the tribe was survival information. But now, instead of comparing yourself to 50% village, you are comparing yourself to the highlight reels of 100, 200, or even 300 people online. Plus, there's the relative income hypothesis. Studies show that people care less about absolute income and more about the relative income. Making $70,000 feels amazing if your friends make 50,000, but it feels terrible if they make 100,000. And even though your actual buying power is the same. Here's the plot twist. The Tesla friend is in $80,000 of student debt. The luxury dinner friend lives with his parents. The Instagram vacation girl maxed out 3 credit cards. Everyone might be faking it, right? Mike just spent $10,000. He didn't have to compete with people who are also broke but better at hiding it. Now, what's the fix? First, do a money values check. Always ask yourself, am I spending money on what I actually value or what I think I should value? If you love travel, great, but budget for it. But if you're traveling just for the Instagram post and you're stressed about the cost the whole time, that's not traveling, that's performing. Second, unfollow or mute accounts that make you feel financially inadequate. Seriously, if someone's feed makes you want to spend money, they are costing you money. Protect your peace and your wallet. Third, remember the equation. Net worth is equal to what you own minus what you owe. That guy with the fancy car might have a minus $40,000 of net worth. You, with your paid off Honda and a $15,000 in savings, you're actually richer. Number 4, death by 1,000 tiny pieces, right? When we say it's just $5, it's only $12, it's just a coffee. And you know what? You're right. One $5 coffee doesn't matter. But here's what does matter. 260 of them a year. That's one every work day. Let's break down the small stuff. So the daily coffee where you spend $5 every work day, that's more than $1,800 a year. If you do Uber Eats twice a week, and let's say $30 each, that's $3,100 a year, right? The streaming services that you barely use, let's say you pay $40 a month, that's $480 a year. The impulse Amazon's purchases where, let's say, even if you spend $50 a month, that's $600 a year. And in total, all of that, it's more than $6,000 a year. Now here, where it really gets interesting. If you invested that $6,000 every year for 30 years, let's say at 7% return, you would have more than $600,000 in 30 years, right? So your daily coffee habit is literally $500,000 decision. That was the math. Now let's talk about the science. Behavior economists call these the pain-free expenditures because each individual purchase is small. Your brain doesn't register the pain of losing money. It's like slowly bleeding from a paper cut versus one big wound. You don't notice until you're anemic. And there's also something called mental accounting. We treat the small amounts of money differently than the large amounts. You would never withdraw $6,000 from savings to bum, but you will spend the same $6,000 on small stuff without blinking. Now that's enough of the problem. Let's talk the fix. Track every purchase for 1 month. I mean everything. Use an app like Mint, Monarch, or just your Notes app, but you will be shocked when you will see the numbers. Then identify your latte factor. What's your recurring small expense that's actually a huge expense? I'm not saying never buy coffee, all right? I'm saying be intentional. If you truly love the daily coffee and it brings you joy, budget for it. But if it's just the habit, make coffee at home. Save $1,500 a year and use that for something you actually care about. Use the 48-hour rule for the non-essential purchases, like the under $50. Wait 48 hours. If you still want it, buy it. You will find that 70% of the time the urge passes. Now, last but definitely not the least, living without an emergency fund. And here's how this habit keeps you broke. Something unexpected happens, like the car repair, the medical bill, your laptop dies, the emergency flight home. You don't have savings. So what do? Credit card, line of credit, payday loans if things are really bad. Now you are in debt. You are paying interest. That payment becomes part of your monthly bills. Your budget gets tighter, and the next emergency happens. It's more debt, more interest, and suddenly you are trapped. Let's talk about the science behind it now. This is called the financial fragility trap, right? Studies show that close to 50% of Canadians are $200 or less away from not being able to meet their financial obligations. One unexpected expense and they're in crisis mode. It's a poverty trap that keeps people stuck even when they have decent incomes. The fix for this: start small. Your first goal isn't $10,000 in savings, it's $500, then 1,000, then 1 month of expenses, then 3, and then 6. Use the emergency fund ladder, right? Where the level 1 is save $500, which covers most of your minor emergencies. Then you go to level 2, where you save $1,000. It covers slightly your bigger stuff. Then level 3, where you save 1 month of expenses, right? It gives you some of the breathing room. And then you go to level 4, where you save 3 months of expenses so you can survive a job loss. And then the top level is when you have at least 6 months of expenses. Now basically you're bulletproof. How to build this now? So automate your savings, as I said, $50, $100, whatever you can from every paycheck. Then put the windfalls directly in, like any tax refund you get, any work bonuses, any birthday money. Then my favorite one, do a no spend challenge 1 month and bank everything that you save. Last, sell the stuff that you don't use. Now keep this money separate from your regular checkings account, right? You could keep this in your high interest savings account, make it slightly annoying to access so you don't dip into it for non-emergencies. Now this fund isn't about getting richer, it's about staying out of the debt trap. It's your financial shock absorber. Now let's talk about what all of these 5 habits have in common. They are all about the delayed gratification versus the instant gratification. This is as simple as it is, right? Your brain is wired to prioritize now over later. That's biology. Back in the caveman times, eating the berries today was smarter than saving them. You might be dead tomorrow, right? But we are not in the cavemen's anymore. The biggest financial wins come from short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain. So resisting the lifestyle creep now is wealth later. Investing small amounts now is compound growth later. And ignoring the social pressure now is the financial freedom later. Same goes for skipping small purchases now are the big savings later. And the last one, an important one, building emergency fund now will avoid the debt later. The people who win with money aren't smarter. They aren't necessarily the high earners. They just have better habits. All right, so let's recap the 5 habits that keep people financially behind. Number 1, the lifestyle creep. Your expenses growing faster than your income. Then number 2, procrastinating on investing. Waiting to start costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Number 3, keeping up with others. spending money to impress people who don't care. Number 4, ignoring the small purchases. Death by 1,000 tiny transactions. And last one, not having an emergency fund. The debt spiral starter pack. So here's the good news. You can break any of these habits starting today, not tomorrow, not next month, today. Pick one habit from this list, just one, and take one small action this week to fix it. If this video opened your eyes to any money habits you need to change, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about the personal finance. Drop a comment and tell me which of these habits hits closest to home for you. No judgment, we all have been there, right? Thanks for watching, and remember, small changes in habits are equal to massive changes in wealth. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video.